Hi everyone, welcome to the Collateral Onboarding call number 12, held on October 21st, 2020 at 5 UTC. Here joined by a lot of people interested in a way or another in the maker community and with Stasis and Crypto.com, which are going to be presenting today. So the first, just to give you an overview of what we're going to be doing, every project will have around 10 minutes to present, and then around 20 minutes for Q&A from the community. So that's a little bit the format. I'll be letting you know to make sure that we don't go over the hour. So Greg, if you guys are ready, the first presentation will be Stasis with the, I think it's EURStasis, and you guys mentioned something that you have a new ramp, maybe. So,
sorry, new what?
A new ramp? No, I heard, or maybe
new ramp.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but I'll let you guys. I'll let you do the presentation and tell us.
Okay, let me share a screen, please. I have a couple things to show briefly.
Can you share it now or?
No, it says you cannot start screen sharing while other. Okay. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let me start quickly by introducing our team. Our track record in crypto dates back to 2012. Our team created the world's first Bitcoin fund, institutional grade quality instrument to invest in Bitcoin. And then we were involved
I'm still looking into the conversion.
Sorry, what?
No, it was Mike that didn't mute himself, but it's good now.
Okay. So in a nutshell, we are a team of professionals who were involved in institutional asset management and asset structuring, trading, software development for more than 2 decades. And after launching the crypto initiative back in 2012, starting the Bitcoin fund, I quickly realized that there should be a cash on chain, some cash equivalent that has same settlement characteristics as digital assets. And then obviously Tether came along, and I decided to create a better version of Tether, which will be institutional friendly. I always adored MakerDAO concept, but as we all know, even DAI pivoted to the cash-backed assets to reduce the interest rate and volatility component of the collateral. So with Stasis, we are the biggest non-dollar stablecoin on the market. The project started has roots back to 2016, 17, and then the actual launch happened in 2018. I guess we are one of the oldest stablecoins on the market as well, backed by Euro 1-to-1. On top of the stablecoin that is on Ethereum currently, and a couple other blockchains are being explored, we have a wallet, which is a non-custodial solution available for Android and iOS. This wallet supported DAI from the very first day, and then supported migration of Sai to DAI. Inside the wallet, we pioneered the non-custodial swap functionality. Now, of course, there are service providers like Uniswap, Muniswap, and others, but we were the first actually to introduce this trustless swap where you can inside the wallet swap Bitcoin to DAI or DAI to EURS or Ethereum to DAI. And then, sorry, I guess I closed it. And then as for the reserve side, we are the only stablecoin that is audited by a top auditor. And I'm quite proud of this relationship. As a part of my career, before I was working in hedge funds, and then I traded a lot of different derivatives, complicated markets, and then BDO sometimes asked me to do forensics analysis on some macro hedge fund traders, especially when they lost money. So I got a strong relationship with them, and they were kind enough to support the stablecoin project back in 2018 when it was really hard to strike a relationship with any reputable auditor to audit fiat reserves. It sounds a simple process, but big auditors were reluctant to kind of jump on that initiative. Even Circle up to these days, they don't have a top auditor, unfortunately. So then we've got this interface to buy and sell EURS using the SEPA payment or card transaction. So you need to create an account here, which will allow you to access the interface to tokenize your euro. For SEPA transactions, it takes literally less than 1 hour. And we also support card on and off ramps. So you can buy and sell EURS using either a bank transfer or a card payment. And we provide the lowest fees on the market. In fact, we don't charge any fees for this service. Our business model is to accumulate euros collateral to manage them in the big money market fund. So, but we managed to negotiate very reasonable and great fees for these transactions. So if you want to buy euros by card, you will pay just 1.5% if it's a European card, and you get instant stable coins, which you can transact over blockchain with. And if you pay with a bank transfer, it's free. Basically, it's free to buy, and it's 0.1% to sell, capped at 50 euro, whichever is smaller. We also have a sell to card functionality, so you will be able to send your EURS to any Visa or MasterCard around. This was all available in the API form as well. So all this interfaces to buy and sell stablecoin is available as an API, and that's already being used by several merchants as a competitor channel for acquiring. We also have a WooCommerce plugin, so if somebody wants to jumpstart selling something online and settle on stablecoin, we're welcome to experiment with that. And recently we got some clients contributing liquidity to the Uniswap. So I think now EURS is in top 10 pairs by liquidity on Uniswap, and there is USDC and Ethereum pairs. So it's now available for DeFi transactions, interactions. I guess I'll stop here. So basically we did a lot of efforts, put a lot of efforts to introduce crypto to the European Union community, accumulated more than 50,000 customers, wallet downloads, and members of our community across different European countries, and really excited about joining the DAI Collateral as one of the institutional grade and stable assets backing it.
Great, thank you, Greg. Does anyone want to start with the questions?
Should I open the chat? Where do people type questions?
I can read one question from Lorik in the chat. Is would you add RuPay card for local Indian people for buying Stasis Euro without any difficulty? Because not everyone uses Visa card or MasterCard.
Rupee, you mean Indian currency? So we charge in euro. We focus on euro. You can try using the Indian card inside our sellback interface and buy EURS stablecoin. The fee will be higher though. So for European cards, the fee is just 1.5%, but for other cards, it's 3.5%. And again, we don't take any fees ourselves. We just pass through what we managed to negotiate. But given our relationship with auditors and acquirers, we negotiate the lowest fees possible. You can't find anywhere on the market card to crypto purchase for 1.5% fee.
I think he means RuPay as it's like another gateway, right? So it's a different type. So you have MasterCard, Visa, and RuPay, kind of like UnionPay in China.
Oh, totally. We're open to all partnership suggestions. I typed an email address. It's corp@stasis.net. If you have a contact in place and would be willing to integrate with us or suggest some service provider, we'd be happy to investigate.
Nice. Yeah, I have a question. We had actually a couple weeks or months ago, Rafael Kosman from Trust Tokens. Well, they do TUSB, TGBP, etc. And he mentioned that it's not possible to do euro from a regulatory point of view. So I'm not a legal expert at all, but I don't know if you have any comments about that, or you know what he means, or.
Well, I can't really blame the guy. Initially, he wanted to launch the true euro, I think, as a second currency a while ago, but failed. It's not because of the regulations, because of the negative interest rates. A lot of tech teams jumped on the stablecoin projects. There were more than 250 stablecoin projects announced last couple of years. But fast forward 3 years and just look around, who is around? Very few teams managed to execute, and especially with the currencies that have negative interest rates. We have the hedge fund background. We know how to navigate the negative interest rates environment. We don't just store our euro in a bank. It's actually the worst thing you can do, store currency in a bank. If a bank goes under, the only token holders can get is 100,000 insurance. So we hold reserves in licensed custodians and government paper, which cannot go bankrupt. So that's our differentiator. To some sense, we are like Libra, but executed 3 years before Libra even started to.
How do you?
I have one question.
Sure.
Specifically related to negative rates in Europe. So you said that you're storing it with custodians, and then you also use government paper, but the yields in Europe are also negative. So how are you able to have a positive yields on those euros that you store?
Depending on the duration of the security. So if you take longer dated government bonds, the yield is even positive and sometimes close to zero. But we also do collateralized lending through these licensed intermediaries. These are the brokers. They are licensed financial institutions, investment companies in Europe who can face clients and trade on their behalf. What they do is they finance sovereign bond purchases using the reserves we accumulate. And these sovereign bond purchases are used in investment programs. So there is a big trend in Europe to sell golden visas or properties. And then in all these examples, customers have to buy government bonds and hold them for a considerable amount of time. So our licensed intermediaries provide leverage for these people to buy these bonds. They're sticky customers, it's a collateralized loan, and it has very long duration. Basically, it's like a big money market fund, which is flexible on what assets it can trade.
I see. Okay, but you said that storing euros at banks is not safe because they can go bankrupt. But don't you think that lending euros to this collateralized margin services or products isn't risky as well?
Because they're not fractionally reserved. Everything is over collateralized. Think of like MakerDAO. It's over collateralized with Ethereum, right? Same thing here. In bank system, you get very high leverage. Banks are currently leveraged 20 to 1 or even 50 to 1. If you take account all the off-balance sheet stuff, it's like 100 times to 1 as Deutsche Bank was leveraged back in 2008. So in our case, it's government debt and it's over collateralized lending, not under collateralized like banks provide. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. But are you transparent with those assets that you hold? Like, is this public?
Our auditor has access to all our accounts. Yep, so it's publicly available in the statements that we publish.
Okay, thanks.
Does anyone have any other question?
Yeah, I mean, following. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Frank.
No, I was just following up on the audit report. So BDO Malta was actually looking for an audit report for their operations. I can't find it, so I can't hold you accountable for that, I guess. Last report was 2018. But so do you have a BDO Malta report for us, an order report for 2020?
For 2020, it's not ready yet, obviously. The year has not ended. So we started with weekly audits and then realized the community is not really demanding that frequent audits. So now we are doing yearly audits and monthly audits on demand. So I can send you the latest one. It should be available on the website.
Yeah, if you could post that to the forum, that'd be great. Thanks,
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Hi, I was wondering if you have a massive sell-off of status euros, how do you manage liquidity in the event?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, sorry. If you have a lot of people wanting to sell at the same time status euros and redeem them for euro for for euros for the fiat currency, how do you manage the liquidity in that case?
We don't hold any euros ourselves as stasis. We kind of exempt from trading our own token. This is not required by law, but this is the way we self-regulate from day one. Everybody who trades EURS is either a primary client who bought it on the primary market or a client who bought it on the secondary market and is involved in the liquidity providing business just because he can buy at 99 cents or sell close to par or above par. As euro fluctuates to dollar, you can imagine there are some arbitrage opportunities across cryptocurrency exchanges and even on Uniswap. You can check the transactions on the Uniswap. There have been some arbitrage opportunities between Bancor, Uniswap, and some centralized exchanges like Bitfinex. So no, we don't engage in any secondary market activities. We make sure our reserves are transparent and that our APIs and sellback works to buy and sell unlimited amounts of EURS. And then the secondary market just takes over and figures out on its own.
I think, Greg, the question was more guided towards if people want to redeem a lot of euros and sell or burn the EURStasis. Like, do you guys have the liquidity to do that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. If everybody comes in and sells the EURS tokens, we'll be, of course, honoring all those requests and sending fiat out. I mean, we've got transactions of buying and selling EURS every day using fiat. We've got people buying in with cards. We've got people selling to their IBANs. It's happening every single day. So yes, not an issue.
Okay. No, so I guess it goes back to your comment about not having the money in a bank, right?
Yes, still, it's not a bottleneck, right? Since this is a government paper, we can always repo it in central bank if we need to, or sell it. It's not an issue.
Sounds good. Does anyone have any other question? I think Lorik had one. I don't know if you want to jump into the microphone and. We cannot hear you, but. Okay, I'll read it from the chat. So he said, what would happen when ETH 2.0 would come along? Will Stasis Europe be the same like today, or would something change?
Well, obviously nobody knows how the exact ETH 2.0 will look like. Everybody will have to adapt to that, but we are pretty comfortable with Ethereum as a settlement layer and the level of trust and security it offers. So if that doesn't change, we'll gladly remain on the Ethereum layer 1. But as I said from the start of the call, we are exploring other blockchain opportunities as other stable coins. Today, Circle announced a partnership with Solana, for example. So I can't name the exact projects, but we're also exploring such opportunities.
Nice. And the other question I had was, would you guys use the vault yourselves, or you're just interested in getting EURS into Maker for users and to increase adoption?
Again, we as Stasis have 0 EURS. It all belongs to clients. Our job is to increase the fungibility of the token, to provide more opportunity for users and more comfort for ecosystem. We've got so many requests from our European customers to introduce at least some product that can generate some yield. And adding EURS to DAI is the first step into that.
Sounds good. Okay, Alex is asking in the chat, why European investors prefer dollar currency and US-backed stable coins?
I guess that was just a historical start of crypto assets. They started trading in dollars, and it's not new. Every new market starts being priced in dollars. I've been in the hedge fund business for more than 20 years, and I can tell you that Thailand equities or Russian equities started being priced in dollars first. But now most of them trade in local currency than in dollars. So same was happening in crypto. First there was Bitcoin and started trading in dollars on Japanese exchange, believe it or not in yen, right, but in dollars. But then market evolved, new regional products roll out, and then there'll be customer segregation. Also, Europe has been lagging in crypto adoption. As you know, US was big in Bitcoin, Asia was big in Ethereum and Ethereum related projects, but Europe lacks even big crypto exchange. The Bitstamp is the only example, and there are not many crypto projects originate out of Europe. So adoption of crypto generally is lower in Europe relative to US and Asia, and that's why there's less demand for euro-denominated stable coins. But that will change, and I foresee a very bright future for the euro-denominated crypto assets.
And Greg, sorry, Juan. Greg, looking at your wallet, I see that it's available on the 2 most popular app stores. Have you ever had any issues? Actually, what I should say is, do you have a web browser built into that wallet? And I asked because I was listening to this app creator, and he had mentioned that a couple of times he had issues with Apple with regards. I mean, actually, Coinbase had issues. Trust Wallet recently removed the browser, but you guys have a browser in there. And so far, what has been your, I guess, your relationship with Apple as far as the wallet is concerned?
We had just one question from the product team, from the App Store team, regarding the custodianship of assets. Since it's a non-custodial wallet, we don't hold any ownership of the assets that people put inside this wallet or transact through these wallets. So we don't require to be a licensed intermediary to custody those assets. And that was the only question. Besides that, there were no issues.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And we have more than 20,000, I guess, users in iOS alone. So, and the wallet has been in existence for a couple of years. So we would have known, I guess, if there were some demands.
Any other questions? Okay, Lorik in the chat asked, what's your plan for 2021? Can we see Statis Euro on PayPal? And what's your opinion on regulation and PayPal?
So PayPal is obviously big news, moving the whole market today by a significant margin. Again, I see the big power in self-custodianship and digital assets. It's that everybody can transact with them on demand, self-custody need, but that requires, of course, some increased computer literacy, crypto literacy for people to be more convenient and happy with the applications and the devices they use. So far, we're still in just very early stages. It's like asking, would you access the internet cafe to browse internet, or would you kind of use your own device, right? We're very early, and the market will evolve, and there will be people who will use crypto on PayPal or through PayPal, but still will be chaps who will prefer self-custodianship and use all the types of wallets to custody crypto and trade, transact through it, through the software, different software solutions. As for regulation, it's a very important subject, and going forward, I think European Union will amend e-money directive to include stablecoin concept and call it something like e-money 2.0, because in its current form, e-money regulation is not allowing a stablecoin model by accessing the reserves and keeping them outside of the banking system. But going forward, it's an inevitable thing to do, and I think we were one of the flagship projects, including the regulatory lobbying process. We were part of the official advising team for several governments, several European governments. We even published 2 books on regulation. Let me show you. This is one of the latest books we published on cryptocurrency regulation across the world, and shared these books with all the major regulators, including the ECB and all the securities regulators and stakeholders who could be interested in pushing these things forward. So I have really high hopes for European Union as a whole. The initiative to consolidate a digital asset framework between countries has finally got traction and now is being implemented. As you know, before, countries on their own, like Malta, France, Italy, started to craft their own legal frameworks around digital assets. In Germany, for example, banks are now allowed to custody digital assets. So things are progressing, although at a slower speed as crypto community prefers. As you can see in DeFi, for example, it was full cycle in less than 2 months, boom and bust. And so much stuff is going on literally every day. But I have high hopes that European Union government officials will deliver a friendly set of rules how everybody can live upon. And again, we are the biggest non-dollar stablecoin projects, and everybody knows about us and is comfortable of EURS operating in the way it is.
Nice. Does anyone have any last questions, I guess? Okay, let's finish with Sandu's question. Well, you were kind of touching on this, but it's like, any bets on when a Euro CBDC can go live, and how would this impact the EURS development?
Yeah, CBDC has been a hot topic. The question is, will it be a wholesale CBDC or retail? I've been quite public on my comments. If you Google my last name and CBDC, you'll find some articles around it. But in a nutshell, if it's a wholesale model, retail will not be able to access it. Just the banks will be using it to settle between each other. And if it's a retail model, there is a risk of a run on a bank, because the commercial bank money will lose its appealing status. Nobody will deposit money in the bank with the risk of getting just 100,000 out of that insured account if you can have a direct account with central bank. So it's a big debate. I currently see the CBDC as something internal that public will not have access to, and I gave my comments about it to relevant parties and regulators when we had these discussions. But it's clear that something will be on the table for the consumer to decide upon, and it will be just a competitive market. If you can, say, buy a coffee with CBDC, but you cannot deposit into the DeFi product or project to generate some yield, maybe it's not a good enough of a CBDC.
Good. Okay, so thank you very much, Greg, for your presentation. If you guys want to keep the conversation, there's the forum post with the EURS MIP6 application, so we can keep the discussion there. and any types of questions the team has been quite active in answering. So thanks again, Greg.
Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, moving on to crypto.com now. Are you guys ready? I'm not sure who's going to be presenting. Is it you, Derek, or?
Yeah, I'll be presenting. Let me. Should I share my screen now?
Yeah, let me share mine.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll get some video as well. I think it's the norm today, so I'll do that. It's about 1:30 a.m. here in Hong Kong, so I'll do my best to cover the presentation.
Nice. Thanks for joining at this hour.
No worries. Let me know if you can see my presentation.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Let me set up the camera and then we're good to go. All right, you guys see me? Okay, good afternoon and good evening for those on my time zone. So I'm very happy to be here today. Thanks for the invite and being able to argue a little bit our onboarding application for being a collateral for crypto.com CRO token. So I'll cover a bit what is crypto.com, what is CRO, and what can it bring to the MakerDAO ecosystem. So as a company, crypto.com was founded about 4 years ago, and we had a very strong belief that individuals should have control over their money, data, and identity. And the blockchain tech, cryptocurrency built upon it, and decentralized finance services were a technology and tools that could enable people to regain what we believe are fundamental rights. And when we started in 2016 with this strong belief, our mission was to bring those cryptocurrency and that technology in every wallet and really accelerate the world's transition to using and adopting cryptocurrency. So we started looking at how can we drive adoption. And one of the key factors for us was making those cryptocurrency usable. And so I think that was very important for us. And our first 2 flagship products were payment products. So we had a Visa card, the Crypto.com Visa card, and also Crypto.com Pay, a QR code payment solution that enables people to actually use their crypto for day-to-day spending, really to just buy goods and services at more than 60 million merchants globally, online and offline. So that was kind of the main use case that we started to start driving adoption and bring more people into the space. To power that use case, the payment use case, we developed a public and open source protocol called the Crypto.com chain. And CRO is the native token of that chain. On top of that protocol, we also built a full ecosystem for people also to be able to access and buy crypto. So we offered more than 80 currency now, and people can buy and store their crypto safely on the Crypto.com app using many different fiat currency like Euro, USD, AUD, SGD, and CAD. And we're trying to, beyond giving access and tradability of those tokens, also give the ability for people to grow their assets. So not necessarily spending it, but getting value out of it. So we launched quite a few different products on the CeFi side and on the DeFi side this year to enable people to get more value out of their crypto. If we look at the chain, which is our main protocol, it's really powering our payment use case, but also we've built an infrastructure, and our new testnet enables it to really power some of the DeFi use cases that we want to introduce as well. It's open source, it's permissionless, and it's very developer friendly in terms of documentation and letting people build on top of it. We have a very active GitHub and a lot of contribution. So I encourage you to check it out. If we look at the DeFi initiatives that we've developed at Crypto.com, So we started with our DeFi wallet, which is a non-custodial wallet that enables you to safely store your assets and for you to have full control. We listed Maker, we listed DAI on that wallet. We also introduced a decentralized Oracle integration for the price of DAI and a few other DeFi tokens within the wallet to have a notion of certainty on the price without relying on centralized services. Beyond the wallet, we started adding a lot of different DeFi services. And the first one that we launched a little bit more than a month ago now is a swap protocol called DeFi Swap that enables really that easy swap between different tokens, including DAI, and also some rewarding yield opportunities, especially for those users that are able to stake CRO and of course provide liquidity to the protocol. We've started integrating into different also DeFi apps like the Opera app, IM token, DBank, and we're continuously trying to connect this product with the broader ecosystem in the DeFi space. So that's kind of an overview and how the experience looked like for DeFi Swap, and you can see typical fees that user can get when they transact. So it's fairly similar to the Uniswap model, but also some yield opportunity for stakers. So I think something quite interesting, especially if you were to participate and provide liquidity in a DAI pool, you can get some great rewards as well. I think for us, beyond the product I've mentioned for DeFi, we've started investing in the space quite early on, more than a year and a half ago, and primarily through research and education. I think for us, it's very important because we want to broaden the ecosystem. We want to drive mass adoption, and DeFi is a complex topic. So there's a lot of education to content to develop to provide more insights and explain what it is. We published a lot of reports on different protocols, and we did one on MakerDAO in April, really trying to provide a more color about the protocol, introduce it to our community. And more recently, we did a broader paper with the Boston Consulting Group, so the top tier strategy consulting firm, to really introduce what is DeFi to a broader set of users, even from the traditional sector, for them to understand, what can they do with DeFi, how can they participate, how can they bring value to the overall ecosystem. And we feel, as our role as a company is also to see how we can broaden the interest, the understanding, and the usage of DeFi, across the globe. So I think that's something we invest a lot in. If we look at our overall ecosystem, we have a little bit more than 5 million users now on the platform that would be introduced, further to the MakerDAO protocol. We have 90 markets where we operate. We have local communities in more than 30 markets. We've quite a few employees now, about 600. When I joined about 3 years ago, I was employee 30. So it's been quite an interesting journey, developing all these services, bringing on more customers, adding value. And of course, throughout the way, we've also built a strong social media presence where we can also amplify messaging and education around the protocol and the partners we work with. So if we recap a little bit on what CRO is, it's the native token of the Crypto.com chain, which is a public, permissionless, open source protocol that is really powering payment experiences in a crypto native way, and also building on potential DeFi use cases in the future. We created about 2 years ago now for the CRO token, the first issuance. The market cap is above $2 billion, and we have a daily volume, if I look at the last few days, around $60–70 million per day. So it's fairly liquid token in the market. On top of the payment use cases that I've mentioned, the CRO token really powers a lot of the different experiences that you have within the broader Crypto.com ecosystem around trading and around financial services, including DeFi offering. And then if I step back and looking at what Crypto.com and CRO overall can add to the MakerDAO ecosystem, and what would be a good idea to add CRO as a collateral for minting DAI, I think there's still a lot of work to be done in terms of providing insights and educating people around the DeFi concept and what is MakerDAO and how it brings value to the environment that we're in. And we have 5 million users and a growing base of those users that we can amplify and convey messages to. So I think it's a very powerful ecosystem. And I think connecting our users to the MakerDAO ecosystem via CRO, which is the token that power our entire platform, I think is quite powerful. CRO is also a pretty robust coin, and we've just seen some of the metrics. Especially, it's very important for Collateral in terms of having a decent large market cap, having good liquidity, a decent volume. So I think it checks kind of the boxes for being a strong collateral. It's also a token that has rich utility, and that utility is already live across the payments, the trading, and the financial services use cases. And I think it benefits anyone who can use it and leverage that utility. And being a collateral to mint DAI would be one of those as well. And then finally, I think I can say that we've been a big fan of the project. We've very early on added Maker and DAI to our platform, and we really try to help also power some experiences with CRO in our ecosystem to connect people with DAI and Maker, and we'll continue to do so, whether it's bridge with traditional finance or other use cases. I think we're quite keen to support the project and the initiative. So that's a quick summary on my side. So I'm keen to go through the Q&A now.
Great, thank you, Eric. Does anyone have any questions?
Is there any reason that is there any reason that CRO is not on like any of the dexes? Like I'm looking for it on Uniswap, for example. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it anywhere. Is it an ERC20? I'm just trying to verify it for myself.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we have very, very good liquidity on DeFi Swap, and we're working with different partners, and Uniswap is one of those to see how we can bring liquidity also on other protocols.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's a ERC20 at this stage. Yeah, correct.
Alex or Thomas? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you for staying up late for us. First of all, really appreciate that, Eric. So I kind of caught the portion of your presentation there where you said that it's going to give exposure to more 5 million users, so more folks would get an idea of our product, DAI. So can you just go a little bit more into depth with that? Like, so am I getting this right? If I'm a Crypto.com user and I've never heard of DAI and I live in Honduras and I wanted to get exposure to a stablecoin, I will be able to now have access to DAI. Is that right? Or I'll be able to open a vault perhaps, or perhaps not.
Correct. I mean, if you have, there's different use cases. Of course, if a CRO is integrated as a collateral on the MakerDAO protocol, you'll be very easily able to mint DAI and use DAI for different activities. And within our own ecosystem, people can already buy DAI with a credit debit card through a bank transfer, or using more than 80 different cryptocurrency. So we've already put the DAI and Maker within our ecosystem and trying to bridge it for access and storing as well for our users.
Okay, cool.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. But you won't be able to, I guess, get access to Oasis and open up a vault, right? Like you won't be able to use CRO as a collateral. Forget about CRO. You won't be able to use your wrap Bitcoin as a collateral, right? Through your wrap. Is that right?
Yeah, not at this stage. If we look at the DeFi wallet, which is a separate app, we're connecting now the DeFi wallet with different protocols. and there's definitely an opportunity for us to connect to Oasis app and enable on-chain experience for those users. It's definitely something we can consider.
Okay, got it. Thanks again, Eric.
No worries.
David, do you want to jump?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I have one more question for you. I am curious about how many accounts / wallets hold CRO. I know that probably a portion of it is like actual wallets and a portion of it is probably like crypto.com like accounts. I'm not really 100% sure on whether they're like self-custodied or custodied by you guys, but I am curious about the token distribution specifically. Do you have any data or like anything offhand that you can mention?
Yeah, I was about to check EURScan for the latest number, but I can give you an overview a little bit on the token distribution. So overall, if we look at CRO, there's about 60% of the supply that is frozen for the next few years, and 40% that is available. Out of that 40%, already half of it is in the circulating supply, and the other half is being released progressively through a smart contract and a schedule that is defined in our white paper. So that's roughly how the supply and the token is distributed. And if I look on EURScan, we're about 50,000 addresses right now and holders of CRO. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna, it's been posted in the chat, but actually I'm interested in this. Tomas has asked, can you guide us a little bit around the process of staking?
Sorry, can you repeat this one?
Yeah, sorry. If you can guide us a little bit around the process of staking.
Staking for CRO or for other assets?
For CRO.
Okay. On our app, and we also have an exchange, users can stake directly on that CeFi platform. So I would say off-chain their CRO, and they can get access to different services, access to our card, access to discounts on certain products, or better APR. So that's how we've built the staking mechanism. If we look at the future and the mainnet, when we will move there, we are built on the Cosmos SDK. So you'll be able to stake your token directly for validation or delegate it to a validator. So that would be I would say, a typical experience people would expect on chain to be able to do staking.
What about the other assets, Eric? Like, what are the forms?
Sorry?
Yeah, the other type of assets. Like, what else can you stake, and what's the process?
Sure. We have two products on our app. One is called Earn, and the other one is called Credit. So you can, on the Earn, is kind of the staking or the deposit part, and then we support about 15 different assets. DAI is one of those, and you can stake it or deposit it, and then it can be used and lent out in the credit product within the ecosystem, so it doesn't leave the platform. And we provide actually quite good yield on DAI right now, I think up to 12% per annum. So it's pretty attractive. And the mechanism is very simple. You just need to have a Crypto.com app. You open the app, you go into the Earn product, and you deposit, you select a term. We offer like flexible 1 month and 3 month term. And of course, you have different interest rates based on the more you stake, the better the rate is. And of course, if you stake CRO also within the platform, you get even higher rates. And then you just approve and confirm. And then every week you receive the interest in the currency that you've deposited on that token. So it's pretty good product that a lot of people use on our platform. So it's very, very easy front end for them to connect.
You mentioned that the CRO had well, it's a utility token. So what can you get with it? What can you pay with the CRO? Apart, I mean, from probably staking and getting rewards in CRO. I'm not sure if you provide the rewards in DAI or in CRO.
At this stage, we provide it in CRO. And on the payment side, so we have the card product. So if you stake CRO, you can get the card, and the more you stake, the higher the card you can get, and you get things like free Spotify, free Netflix, 10% on Expedia, free when we can travel a bit more, and great perks. On the pay solution, which is really a very interesting product, it's a native crypto payment solution. So, and it's mobile friendly, it's QR code. So we're integrating, for example, with Ledger on their website. So you have a little crypto.com pay button. You click on it, there's a QR code that pops up. You open your crypto.com app or any non-custodial wallet. You can scan that QR code and then you can pay. Off-chain, if you're with the app, the crypto.com app, and it's instant, or you can do it on-chain with CRO with any non-custodial wallet and get that payment across, confirm, and then it's actually free for the merchants to receive the funds in crypto. So it's very, very cool product on the payment side. So that's for payment utility. And then on the trading side, we have a big exchange platform. And if you stake CRO there, then you get pretty good discount on the fees that you trade. And you also get access to kind of exclusive events where you get discounts on token. I think we did a 50% on Maker a couple of weeks ago. And so there's this kind of event, you can get very nice APY, and you can get access if you have CRO or you stake CRO. That's on the trading side. And then on the financial services side, we talked about earn, credit, and also some of our DeFi yield opportunities. Same if you stake CRO on earn, you get higher, sometimes up to 2% more, percentage on your APR, or on credit, you get also reduced, interest rate that you have to pay if you stake CRO. So that's kind of the utility that is already live. Some is off-chain, some is on-chain, depending on the tools within our platform.
Nice. Okay, I'll read Thomas' question from the chat. Can I link my payments with the staking rewards of CRO?
I'm trying to see.
So I guess that's,
yeah.
You stake something, you get rewards in CRO. So can you link the paying either app or card to those rewards?
Definitely. So actually, when you use any of our payment products, whether it's the Visa card or especially the Pay product, if you have stake CRO or if you use CRO as a currency, especially for the Pay product, you get cash back. And on the card, it's up to 8% in that currency. And on the Pay product, it's up to 10%. So if you use the token for the transaction, you get cash back in CRO. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Any other questions? Maybe one last question from me, Eric. Do you guys have a list of the merchants that accept CRO?
We're actually working on the directory because it's a question that we get quite often. But I can mention a few names. So I said Ledger, Travelhouse has integrated with Crypto.com Pay. Unstoppable Domains is a great partner of us as well. And we have every week hundreds and hundreds of merchants that apply to be a merchant with us. We have a WooCommerce plugin. We have Equid plugin. We have PrestaShop and other platforms that are coming up. So we're quite integrated into the merchant platform ecosystem, and we have numerous merchants. What we do now is every month in our newsletter that is focused on pay, we start listing and highlighting some of the featured merchants. But we're planning to do maybe a directory at some point, so it's easier for people to know where they can spend their CRO or their their DAI, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that some group of people from the DAO Maker DAO is trying to actually do the same for DAI and get all the merchants that accept DAI. So it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, we should join forces. It's it's still a very small space, and I think we'll all gain from growing it together.
And I guess to close, if no one has any other question, I think David and Alex on the chat were worried about the price. They say, okay, what's the actual free float on CRO token? Since there's 100 billion supply, it is confusing. How much could be dumped tomorrow? Thanks.
Sure. I mean, as I mentioned, there's actually 100 billion, not trillion. 60% of that is frozen. Out of the 40% that is left, 20% is already in the circulating supply, and the other half is being distributed through a smart contract with a daily distribution. So it's predictable, which is always important in the space, and is very clearly detailed in our white paper. So I think the idea is progressive rollout, make sure there's a good utility for the token, and as a company we just build products that make sense for our users, and things progress from there.
Nice. All right, any last questions before we close? Eric needs to go to bed, so.
Thanks.
I'll take the silence as a no. So thank you, Eric, again. I lost my screen. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, some news before we close. Tomorrow at 5:30 UTC, we're going to have Federico from Kleros. Kleros just announced a fellowship with the Maker Foundation regarding collateral onboarding. There's a blog post down there if you guys want to check it out. It's also on the Maker Forum. Next week, 28th of October at 5 UTC, we're going to have Console Fright. So that's one of the real world asset companies that's working with Centrifuge to bring real world assets to the blockchain. And at 6 p.m. UTC, we're going to have Curve Finance. So yeah, I'm going to post the agendas today or tomorrow. So please join us. And yeah, see you all in the forum, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Ryan, for organizing.